Now we'll discuss editing audio clips in Ableton Live's arrangement view. So I've come up with a little 8-bar arrangement here using some loops from my library, and all of these are warped so they're all playing in time with each other. And I'll try to keep the music playing as much as possible here as we go through and we make some edits here. So first off, we can take any clip, maybe we'll take these drums here, and if we move the mouse over the top half of the clip, we can grab what's called the title bar. That's the colored portion of the clip. We can move it left and right and just drop it to different places in the grid. Notice how it'll snap to the grid. If we hold the command key when we click and drag, we can have it not snap to the grid. So if you want to just freehand move it without it snapping, hold command. If you move your mouse over the bottom half of the grid, you can click and drag across to make time selections. And this will be helpful when we start doing things like splitting. Why don't we split a portion of the clip right now? Maybe I'll drop the fourth bar of drums out. So I'll do that by removing this clip altogether. So if I click and drag across here to select that time, I can just press the delete key and it'll just remove that portion of the clip. So if we listen to it with everything, we'll have a gap in the drums here. And then the drums come back in. I can also just split a clip by clicking and placing the insert marker on a clip and then pressing Command E. And you see now that it's turned this one clip into two separate clips. It's worth noting though that when I have multiple clips like this, I'm going to stop playback for just a second here. If I double click on this clip here, take a look at the contents of the clip in the clip view. So we see it in the clip view down here. If I zoom out all the way, what it's showing me is that this clip in my arrangement, it contains the entire audio file, right? This full 4-bar drum loop that I was working with originally. But this clip has the instructions here just to play the first 2 bars of it. That's all it's going to play. It's just ignoring the last 2 bars. If I click over here, this is now a totally independent clip. And this also contains that full audio sample, but this clip is just telling Ableton to play only the second 2 bars, bar 3 and bar 4. So the nice thing about this is when we start splitting clips, we have multiple clips that are all referencing the same audio file. And this is what Ableton Live likes to call non-destructive editing, meaning that each clip is basically just a container for the sample, and it's referencing the sample on our hard drive. So if we make any edits, if we cut it up, if we move it around, it's not actually doing anything to destroy or to wreck the sample on my hard drive. That sample's still sitting happily and sounding just the way it always did. We're just using these clips to tell Live to play that sample back, different parts of it at different times in the arrangement. We can also extend clips. If we move our mouse over the left or right edge of the title bar of a clip, we can click and drag to extend it. You see how I can, let's actually go to the right side of this clip. I can extend this back out so it's no longer split anymore. Now I have this one clip that contains the entire 4-bar loop that I was originally working with here. We can create fades at the ends of clips. Let's maybe go down to this pad clip here. And you'll notice if I move my mouse over the clip, it kind of highlights the waveform portion of it in blue. And I see these tiny little squares on the bottom left and right corners and the top left and right corners of my clip here. If I grab one of these, I can create a little fade. I can just basically tell the audio to fade out. Let's solo this. So it fades out a little bit early there. We can adjust the curve of the fade using this. If we have multiple clips that are right next to each other, let's maybe split, I'll split the pad clip right here. I'm going to click there and press Command E. I can take one of these are called fade handles, and if I drag it over to kind of overlap one or the other, I can have it do a fade in and a fade out like this, but if I take this and I overlap it, it creates a crossfade. So it's going to blend from one clip into the next. Now this is all referencing the same audio file, so it's not really going to sound all that much different. But if we have 2 clips that are referencing different audio files, we can create little crossfades between them. We can also link tracks together so that any edits we make on a clip will apply to all of the clips on all the linked tracks. So let me close my clip view. I'm going to select all of my tracks here by clicking on one. We'll click on the top one here, and if I hold Shift and then I click on the bottom track, you see that all of my tracks are highlighted in blue. I can right-click on one of them, and from this context menu, I'm going to select Link Tracks. You see now each track has a little chain link icon on it, and if I go, let's say, to this leads track here, and I click, and then I press Command E, it's actually going to split all of the linked tracks. If I create a fade, it's going to fade all of the tracks. Keep in mind, for the fades to work like this, all of the clips need to be lined up either starting or ending in the same spot for the fade to work across multiple clips like that. Oops, I don't want to save it yet. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. Command Z, by the way, is your undo command. That's going to be super helpful when you're making edits. If you make a quick mistake and you need to undo something, Shift Command Z is going to be redo. So we're going to undo our fades here. I'm also going to unlink all of my tracks. I'm going to shift select them again and unlink tracks from here. Let's get a little bit more in depth with our edits here. There are certain parts here, like this lead. Maybe I don't want that to come in until bar 5. So I'm going to grab the left edge of it here and just cut it down so that it doesn't start until bar 5. If I have a clip set up to loop, let's take a look at this leads one again. Let's take just this one clip here. I'm going to double click on it. We're going to go down to clip view. Because this is an independent clip, any changes I make down here are only going to affect this clip. They won't affect this clip over here. So if I wanted to, this might sound weird, but I can transpose this up. Maybe we'll transpose it up by an octave. This clip is left untransposed, right? So any changes I make will apply only to that clip. But what I was thinking of doing is turning loop on this clip, which it's actually already on. But let's go down here to the clip view and let's take the loop brace in the clip view, which right now is kind of looping the entire clip. But if I shorten this loop brace down, so I tell Live, hey, on this clip, I only want you to loop bar number 1. Now if I grab the right edge of this clip to extend it, it's just going to continue to loop that first bar over and over again. So let's see how that sounds. You know what I need. That's not bad, but I don't know if I want that to play for this entire second set of 4 bars here. So let's do this. I'm going to undo what I did. Let's move this clip over. We'll keep this clip full. Now remember, this one is set to loop, but look, its loop brace is going across the entire 4 bars. So if I grab the upper left corner here and I drag it off to the left, it's just going to bring that first bar back into play here, so I'll hear it. So we'll keep this one full, the full progression of the lead. This one is set to loop just the first bar of the clip, right? So if I extend this out, it's going to loop that. So we can almost think of this as like an intro version of my melody, and then the full lead comes in here at bar number 5. So we'll start from the top of the arrangement. Let's take the vocal here. Let's copy and paste this vocal. So if I want to copy and paste a clip, I can click on it to select it, and I can press Command C, and then click where I want to paste it by setting my insert marker and then pressing Command V. I can also move my mouse over the top half of a clip. I can hold the Option or Alt key and then click and drag and then release my mouse button to do a quick copy paste like that. Let's do something like this, and then we'll maybe cut this down. So we just get the first couple of words there. Let's hear what this sounds like. I want to move that here, and then we'll move this one here. And let's duplicate this. So if I click on a clip, I can do a quick copy paste next to itself by pressing Command D or Control D to duplicate it. Let's move this over though. Move this one over too. Duplicate that, move it over again. So for this one, let's do this. If I select a little bit of empty time before the clip and I click and drag across the clip and I basically select the clip and this empty time, my duplicate will actually duplicate the empty time along with it too. So now I'll keep the spacing even between those clips. Maybe take a portion of this here, and I'm just going to duplicate this out, Command D, a bunch of times, and then maybe extend the last one out. Let's see how this sounds. Okay, getting a little funky with it. Now my arrangement right now is only 8 bars long, so maybe I want to start to build this out into a full arrangement. So there are these time commands that we can use that'll apply edits across the entire length or a chunk of your arrangement. So I can access the time commands by either going to the edit menu up here. And by the way, several of the edit commands that I mentioned early, things like copy, paste, duplicate, these key commands all show up here. If you ever forget them, you can refer to this edit menu here. But you also see we have time commands: cut time, paste time, duplicate time, delete time. So if I select a portion of time, let's just click and drag across the drums track here for 8 bars. Now that I've selected some time, I can go to edit and I can see duplicate time, for example. That will take everything in that 8 bars of time that I selected and duplicate it over. So not just the drums, but everything in that 8 bars. We can also access the time edit commands, several of them, by right-clicking on the middle of the loop brace in the arrangement view. So if I right-click here, you can see duplicate time, delete time, paste time. Let's duplicate time again. Now we've got 32 bars of an arrangement here. Let's do it one more time. So we got 64 bars, duplicate time. So now we've got 64 bars, a nice long arrangement here. And if at some point I'm like, you know what, I went a little too long with this. Maybe I don't want it to be 64 bars. Maybe I just want it to be 57 bars. I don't really like this section right here anymore. I want to just cut this whole section out of my arrangement. What we can do is, again, select time, or we can use the loop brace. Remember, I can select time and then press Command or Control L to set the loop brace. And I can right click and I can actually do a cut or delete time. Delete time is just going to remove that chunk of time altogether, and it's going to take everything to the right of it and move it in to fill the gap. Cut time will do the same thing, but it'll kind of take the all the audio clips that we've selected there that we've cut and copy them to our clipboard so we can paste them later if we want to. So let's just do a delete time. You see how I got rid of that 8 bars or so of audio, and it cut it down. It took everything to the right and cut it down. Let's space this out a little bit more. Maybe we'll keep the drums going here. Maybe I'll do something at the end of bar 7. So bar 8 to bar 9, I'll cut the drums out there. Keep the drums going here. Let's take this ARP out altogether. I don't want that to come in until bar 17, so I'm going to click and drag across all these clips and just press delete. I can also deactivate clips, which is similar to deleting them, but it just kind of mutes them. So if I click on a clip and I press the 0 key, it kind of grays it out. That means it's deactivated or muted. So this is nice if you're like auditioning and you're like, I kind of want to hear this section of the song without that part, but I don't want to delete that clip altogether. I'm going to just deactivate it. Maybe we'll deactivate the lead for that section. Let's also get rid of some of these vocals in the beginning. Maybe we'll just get rid of the vocals up to bar 13. And then maybe we'll just have this clip play the full original phrase there. Get rid of some of these as well. We can also take portions of clips and reverse them. So for example, maybe let's take this pad here. It's got like a nice sort of tail where it fades out. Let's maybe take this little section of 3 quarter notes. My current grid size is quarter notes. So I'll take 3 quarter notes. I'm going to duplicate them. Then I'll take this duplicated portion of the clip and I can reverse it by either clicking on this reverse button down here, or I can literally just click on the clip and press the R key and it'll reverse it for me. So it shows me the whole clip here. If I go down to clip view, we have the entirety of the clip, but now it's just playing backwards. So it's fading back in. And if I want to extend that, we can do that there. That's cool. Let's take a listen to that from here. So it's the same chord, reversing, swelling up, and then it hits that last chord on the turnaround. I like that. Remember, I'm using that adaptive grid, so as I zoom in, I get more grid lines to work with. Maybe we can take a portion of our vocal there, and then we can select that and then just duplicate that a bunch of times to create like a stutter. I can zoom in even a little bit more. Maybe I'll cut this one down and then stutter that by duplicating that. Could do a similar thing with the drums, right? Let's go up here. Let's take this clap right here in the drums. I'm going to select it and copy it, Command C. Let's put another one here. And then maybe one more right. Oh, there is one right there already where I wanted it. Let's throw one more at the end there for good measure. Command V or Control V to paste it. take a couple of the kicks here. There's a kick. And then we'll do like a little, add the kick right here, Command V, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Let's see. Yeah, so we get like a little kick build up there. So a lot of fun can be had just going in and making quick edits like this. Remember, a lot of the key commands that I mentioned are here in the edit menu if you ever forget them. Your standard ones are copy, paste, duplicate, cut is Command X. I don't think I mentioned that one. And then you have your time commands you can access here, or if we set up the loop brace, we can access the time commands from the loop brace as well. One additional time command that is worth mentioning that is kind of hidden is the insert silence command, which can be found in the create menu. We see here insert silence or command or control I. What this is going to do is allow us to take a section of the arrangement and basically split it apart and open it up so that we can have an open space to maybe write in some new stuff, drop in some new loops, or record something new in. So let's say, for example, in the middle of the song, I'm like, yeah, I got an intro and I got a verse and I got a chorus, but maybe before the chorus, I want a 4-bar pre-chorus. So I click and drag across 4 bars of time, and then I do that insert silence command from the create menu here, and it basically takes everything from the beginning of that time selection and moves it over by that time selection. So you can see all the clips here to the right have scooted over and opened up this space here so I can record something new in there, or I can drop some new clips in there, or do something different essentially. So it's almost the complete opposite of delete time. It's adding empty time to fill in to your arrangement grid here. So I hope that clarifies all these different edit commands and gives you some ideas of how to get creative with editing audio clips in Live's arrangement view.